Alright, today we're going to change the fill valve on this toilet. So first of all, we need to gain access to the toilet from the tank and also from underneath where the fill valve connects. So first of all, we take the tank lid off. And then what we'll need to do at this point is actually shut our water off at our valve here. This is a higher quality quarter turn valve, but you'll find different styles out there. So now that we've done that, the water is now turned off to the toilet. But to save us from having a big flood in the house here, we need to empty the water in the tank. So we'll flush the toilet and hold the lever down. Now one trick with this is that there's always going to be a little bit of water remaining in your tank. And obviously if your water doesn't shut off at your valve, you'll need to call a plumber in to have that changed for you, so you can safely do this without destroying your house. Now there's different ways of doing this. Obviously the most trouble-free way is to empty the water, or as much as the water you can, out of the tank. So we use our trusty sponge to come in, try and grab some of the water. Now depending on your type, age and style of toilet, this might be a quick little job, or you might be doing this for quite some time. Just because of all the little nooks and crannies and everything else that comes in. Because what you have to know is that when you take the fill valve out, we're effectively opening a hole on the bottom of the tank, and so whatever water remains in here, it's going to come out straight onto the floor. The other thing to know is that although we've turned the water off at the valve here, there will still be water in the supply tube as well. So once we undo this, we will get a few drips coming out. So we can keep that squeezed back into the toilet as we're not disconnecting it. Now, underneath our beautiful toilet here, we will have a nut for us to get off. Now all these nuts, for most of these components, plastic nuts and plastic threads. Here comes the water. And obviously we need to clean this up straight away so that we don't end up with leaks in below. Water especially likes to go into heat registers. Considering that we've got one right here underneath the toilet, it would be a lovely thing to find out that you now have water dripping in the ceiling below and also all the way down to the floor. So what we need to do here is make sure that our surface is free of any solid waste materials, debris, bits of dirt, grit, you name it, because it will be there, and when you go to stick a new one on in its place, things won't seal properly. So as this unit and toilet are not overly old, we in this instance are actually going to reuse the equipment here. Although generally speaking, what we would advise is that if you've had something in your house for a while that's generally over 6 months old, you wouldn't take it out to play around with it, you take it out and completely replace it. So this is our fill valve. We have our rubber seal on the bottom here. This is what seals it to stop things leaking on the floor. And then I don't know if we can get the camera over here, Mr. Cameraman, to have a look at the hole from the top of the toilet down. And you can see me wave underneath here. So this is a hole straight down and through. Okay, I think we can back that off. Thank you. So I'm just going to stick this back in the hole. Critical things to think about when installing these are, one, you want to make sure that the height is not going to interfere with the top of the toilet tank lid, and also to make sure that the position is such that any device that's in here, whether it's one of these ball style floats or one like this that has its own inbuilt control device is not going to interfere with any of the mechanisms inside the toilet other than itself. We take our nut from below and we're going to throw this on. And we like to do it finger tight. And we get our wrench on here. And we want to do it just a little bit tighter. Again, we only want to do this just enough that it's actually going to tighten up, but we don't want to over tighten it, as again it's just plastic threads. And that should be it. I want to just make sure that things in here are free moving. Okay, and once I'm happy that that's free moving, I can actually tighten my supply tube to the underside. And there are different styles of supply tube. We tend to find that these stainless steel braided supply tubes are extremely useful. They do a good job and they'll last for plenty of length of life. And then just to make sure our seal is good, we can lift up our device here to make sure it's not letting water through. Let it fill up. No water spraying anywhere. That's a great sign. We let it fill up. Put our overflow tube back in the hole. And that's it. Our toilet will now work as it should. So we will let it fill up and give it a flush. So our toilet's now full. I don't know if you can get that, sit in the camera. Okay, so we give it a flush. And everything works just as we wanted. So all we have to do is put our lid back on. Make sure everything is nice and tidy. And that's the replacement of the fill valve.